Titans of Tech on Capitol Hill this hour. We watched the arrivals in the 9:30 hour. There's Sam Altman, for example. They're meeting with lawmakers behind closed doors. They're talking about the future of AI. And our next guest says that he wishes lawmakers were serious about regulating the technology. Elevation Partners co-founder Roger McNamee joins us now. Quite an assemblage, watching some of the people getting out of their automobiles that we taped earlier, Roger. But I mean, wow, at this table, you've got an awful lot. Do you expect anything to come out of it?
Yeah, I expect Chuck Schumer to shake these guys down for some really large contributions.
You're such a cynic. Come on.
I'm sorry. That's how the game is played. That is how the game is played. If these guys,
it's just a fundraising opportunity for the majority leader?
I believe that's what it is. And by the way, not just for the majority leader. I think for all of them. You know, the situation here is if they were serious about regulating tech, the thing would be filled with people from civil society and the people who have been pointing out correctly that there's an awful lot of hype here and not a lot of substance, which is not to say that generative AI cannot eventually be a valuable tool, but it is not one today. And the way the thing is set up, the people who are going to make money are members of Congress who get campaign contributions. And then I think Microsoft is particularly well positioned because the way the thing is structured, OpenAI is essentially a sharecropper on the Microsoft Azure platform. And at the end of the day, most of the profits from whatever gets done by OpenAI are going to be captured by Microsoft. They really have all of the purse strings here. And I think as you look at it, we want to be really careful, David, to remember the history of what happened with enterprise software in the early 90s, when a mania was created around enterprise resource planning, specifically around SAP. And what was truly incredible for investors was if you shorted the 100 largest SAP customers back in the early 90s, that was one of the great short plays of all time because the technology was hopelessly overpromised. And customers didn't actually get a good return from it. Yet SAP became an incredibly valuable company. I think that's what's going to happen here. Microsoft's going to make it.
So wait, so I want to just get it straight. So you think the technology is overhyped? Are you not concerned about the dangers it presents to humanity, to the workforce, to deep fakes, to so many different things, to discourse? Or
I take all that as a given. I don't think the existential risk is real. I think that's a rhetorical trick to try to make us believe that this technology is inevitable. But I do believe that the harms that are going on to intellectual property, so copyright theft, people's privacy, their ability to do their work successfully, for students to actually learn. Those things are baked in. Those are happening already. And what's incredible to me is when you talk to educators about ChatGPT, they view it as inevitable, so they're trying to adjust around it, notwithstanding all of the incredibly obvious educational flaws that are built into the thing. And again, this is just a classic example of something that has been sold incredibly effectively, but the thing that's been sold is not actually an effective product.
It's interesting. You've been such a critic of social media for so long, and correctly so, perhaps. But you can imagine if a meeting like this had taken place 20 years ago, you think nothing would have come out of that as well?
Well, campaign contributions did come out of it. That's the whole point.
Well, we didn't know the dangers of social media as much as we do now 20 years ago, did we? I mean, at least, can't you say at least, Roger, that there's a recognition here that the development of this technology over time does pose certain threats that we can at least try to mitigate right now if we educate our lawmakers?
I only wish that were true. But, David, I have spent 7 years trying to educate lawmakers about how to think about the culture of technology. The issue here is that we've had a series of things that began with the second generation of social media, went on to ride sharing and the whole gig economy, and then to crypto, self-driving cars, the metaverse, and now generative AI. And each one of these things was a creature of 0% interest rates where they promised the moon. They build massive market cap by spending billions, losing billions, but creating the illusion of inevitability. It's a game plan that tech has been playing over and over again. It's really the same plan all the way back to social media, and with all of the same harms. And, you know, the thing that's really incredible is that we don't ever learn. And what's wild about this one is I think Microsoft actually stands to profit a lot from this particular spin on the game. And, you know, it's a public company, which is something investors can look at.